Oh my gosh, ABIO wrecked me. I have no idea how I'm gonna recover from this. Like, this was a massive, massive blow. And DFFN completely coming in clutch. In 1.5 days, 2 days, I was able to go from a $9,000 deficit to practically breaking even. Today we are going to be talking about how I was able to really cover up the massacre that was ABIO on my account, and how I actually am now going from being down 9,000 to actually being right back to where I started on Wednesday night. All today, we're going to be talking about how to recover from losses, how to get back on the horse, and how to profit again. All today on Young Money Investments. All right, guys, so losses happen, and I think the purpose of me creating this YouTube channel is to be transparent and to show you losses happen and how to recover from them, and how to manage risk. And this is something that I personally, it's probably one of my weakest points. I will be the first to admit it. Watching a stock run against you has never really affected me, and so I don't cut losses, or have not in the past cut losses very quickly. You can totally defame me in the comment section. You can tell me what a shitty trader I am. You can do all that if you want. But what I want to do is go over and show you that I make mistakes, but I do recover, and I have learned from them. Every single mistake that I've made, I feel like I'm learning from those mistakes. So I'm not a perfect trader. I am a profitable trader, but I'm not a perfect trader. And so I want to jump into the last 3 days of trading and kind of show you how I went from being profitable to not profitable and back to being profitable again. So we are going to jump into, because I can't show you my flippin' account because it shows my account number, but this is in the private mentorship group for Young Money Investments. This is the private group. We have our main channel area. We have the short positions. So we go over what we're doing right now, where we're at. I mean, literally this is the chat to be in right now. But this private mentorship, you can find a link in the description if you want to be a part of this private mentorship. If not, totally fine, no worries. But this was on Wednesday at 3:13. I ended up closing out my short position on ABIO. As most of you know, ABIO was a company or a ticker symbol that flippin' ran. So this is today's chart of ABIO. This was yesterday's chart of ABIO, and this is actually Wednesday when I actually made my profit on ABIO. So as you can see, ABIO was a stock that ran from $5 all the way up here to highs of $20.45. So we're talking about a 291% return on ABIO. This actually probably was, well, as you can see, actually probably a 400% runner, right? No, 300% runner. Ended up on Wednesday making a profit on ABIO, roughly of about a little over $2,000. Yeah, a little $2,200 or so. And then ended up making, I had a couple swing positions on NOVN and ROAN, ended up turning those for a profit. So ended up closing Wednesday with a little bit over $3,500 in profits. That was just that day. It doesn't take into effect the profits that you made from the previous day. So there was more profits because on Tuesday, these were swing traded positions. It doesn't factor in the profit that I made on Tuesday. It's just pure profit for Wednesday. That's how TradeZero does it. So if you're like, well, that doesn't add up, Cameron, it's because TradeZero's profits that I made on Tuesday do not show up for Wednesday. Just to be clear, I had to call and actually talk to them at TradeZero, talk to Mohammed, get everything figured out, because I was like, today I actually made over 6,000 in profit, but it was only showing 3,000 and some odd dollars in profit. We'll get into that in a second. So that was Wednesday. Thursday is where I made a major mistake, and this is where you can see I had over a $9,000 loss trying to short ABIO and then trying to long ABIO at the open. So go ahead, again, in the comment section, tell me what a shitty trader I am, tell me what a bad trader I am, tell me about my mistakes. That's totally fine. I'm transparent enough to admit that I do make mistakes. So here we had a major loss. I ended up shorting it. I was actually up about $800 at the beginning. Was stupid, started sizing in, thinking this was going to tank. Well, it jumped and it ran quite a bit. I ended up making some money on DFFN, ended up closing out of ABIO that day and did not end up touching it. So after that point, I was done. I ended up, like I said, getting in DFFN. This was my profit on Wednesday on DFFN, but then you also have this major loss. Now, for most traders, you're going to go, okay, I just took a major loss. What do I do? And for a lot of people, maybe taking a step back, maybe reevaluating things, finding something you love to do is what you would normally do in this situation. And those are fine for a lot of people. I know a lot of traders like Ross Cameron will step away, he'll reevaluate, check it all out. I went back and I looked at where I made my mistakes, and I was totally honest with myself. I said, hey guys, this is what I did. I told myself, like, hey, it's okay that you made this mistake. It's probably going to take you about a week to 2 weeks in order to regain this loss. And that was okay. If I would have held this, and this is where it gets kind of interesting. So I knew ABIO was a low float stock. I ended up, like I said, getting in right in here. Ended up coming down. I was up about $800 at this point, and then it ran against me and I still held. I started to add into my position up into this, but my average entry was 1244. And I obviously had it up in this range. I thought, you know what? Based on past experience and previous experience with ABIO, I knew that this could potentially run to $25, even potentially $30, because it was a micro float stock and it had the potential to be able to run very high. With my 15 or 1400 shares that I had of this, it was not something I was willing to do. So a lot of you would go, well, why would you cut up here? Well, I cut up here because I knew that it could potentially run very high against me. And if something like this ran against me even harder, I would have to cut for a substantial loss. My account, where I'm sitting at right now, or I was sitting at right around mid $50,000, $55,000 in that account, taking this account from around 15,000 all the way up to that price point, or that point, if I would have let that continue to run against me, I knew that if this pulled a BPTH and ran to $70 a share, my account could not handle that and I would have taken a substantial loss. At a $9,000, at that point it was about a $7,000 loss on the account, I knew that my account could recover from that. Yes, it was gonna take a few weeks, but based on how I've continually gone and increased my profits per day, I knew that I could handle, a week or 2 weeks worth of work to recover. Now again, obviously in this trade here on ABIO, it ended up coming down. And if I would have covered right in here or covered right in here again, I literally would have only lost less than $1,000 on ABIO, but I didn't. And if I would have even held through, which the shorts were the locates were so expensive on this, it was like 30 cents a share or something astronomical like that. If I would have held through the night and even continued to hold through today, I would have been in the green. I would have made money on this trade. But the thing is you never know on a stock like this, on a low micro float stock, if it's going to tank or if it is going to run. I decided to do something that I normally have not done. I did not do this on MBOT. I did not do this on BPTH, and it cost me a lot. On BPTH, it practically blew up my whole entire account, all but a few $1,000s. I did not want to, at this point in my trading experience on this account, risk that. So I cut losses, I took my losses, and I would have actually had a lot less of a loss if I wouldn't have done that, but I didn't know that was going to happen. And that is where me personally as a trader have come to the realization that you need to sometimes take losses, even if it means that you were wrong and you actually wouldn't have had that big of a loss. But you have to have a stop point, and that for me was my stop point. And I wasn't allowing or going to allow the markets on ABIO to run up and continue to run up against me. Now again, I went long on this, thinking I could recover some of my loss, and I screwed up. I ended up stopping out right in here in 14 something, I believe was where I ended up getting out on ABIO for my long position of about, I think I had like maybe 400 shares or something long, and ended up getting screwed again. I ended up taking 2 losses, but ended up getting out of this and ended up getting into DFFN. So DFFN was a company again that ended up running quite a bit. So ended up getting into this right up in this range, I want to say. I ended up shorting, I want to say I shorted this right at about 549 was my average entry on 4,500 shares. So it might actually even show it on here. I think 3,045, that would have been 5,500 shares. But so I ended up having 4,500 that I ended up holding. So if you come down here, ended up having, this is going to be without my cover, but I ended up having an average entry from Wednesday of 4,500 shares, and my average entry really was $5.49, but that's only from my entry on Friday. So Friday, my average gain on this was $3,121. But basically, if you take a look at the charts here, I ended up, like I said, having an average entry price of $5.49 on this. Ended up holding through the close, was down at one point of about $4,000, but into the pre-market data, and then through the rest of today, I ended up covering down here at about $4.49. So didn't cover completely at the low of day, but $4.49 for me on 4,500 shares was a great win. This is a great win. And like I said, I ended up making a large amount of profit on this. If you include some of my other wins today, I ended up getting some decent wins. On RHE was about a wash because I made this in the pre-market. Ended up losing intraday. Tried to get in at support and it just started to run, so I cut my losses on that. IDRA was a decent win. SLGG was nothing really. But DFFN, I ended up getting a little bit of a gainer as well. Just kind of using 300 of a 500 shares located intraday today on Friday. And so I ended up making a little bit more profit. So here I think the idea, or kind of like the lesson to be had from these trades, is that, hey, losses happen. You need to manage your risk and understand how long of a time frame will it take you to make back that loss that you're in. And not leaving it up to chance. A lot of times, for a lot of you new traders especially, if you start to get into something and it runs against you a lot, your instinct, and this has been my instinct in the past, was just let it run. Like you're like so numb to the fact that you don't know what's going to happen that it will just run you up and it will stop you out at the top when you blow up your account. Don't let that be you. Don't let that happen to your account. Some of you are going to go, well, Cameron, you lost $9,000 or you lost $7,000 shorting. Like, that sucks. Yeah, for sure. I'm willing to admit that sucked. But I also know what a good trader I am, and I know what abilities I have to make that up. Like I said, if you call up Trade Zero, like I said, I had a $6,000 day, including my profits from my swing trade overnight, including my profits today. I was able to make up practically my whole entire loss in about a day. Is that normal? No. I got really lucky with DFFN in terms of like it was a good trade to get into, and we've had a lot of momentum stocks that have been running up a ton that I've been able to capitalize on. But at the end of the day, I was able and knew my limits, and I was willing to get out even when I probably shouldn't have had that massive loss. If I would have held, I would have been okay. But you never know that going into a low float momentum stock like we saw in ABIO. DFFN was another low float stock. A lot of these that I have traded the past few days have been low float stocks. So that is the lesson that I want to take and give to you guys today in this YouTube video. If you liked this content, if you appreciated it, if you found value in it, please give me a thumbs up on here. If you would like, please hit that subscribe button as well. I would love to post and give you some more helpful hints. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but I am profitable. I mean, these last 30 days, I'm up about $30,000 based on my TraderView account. So I'm making about $1,000 a day, and that's even including this loss. So I was able to even recover from that, and I'm averaging a little bit over, I'm probably averaging a little bit over $1,000 because that's 30,000 in 30 total days. That's including weekends. So I'm making about $1,000 even on the non-trading days. So my average win per day is over $1,000. It's kind of crazy to think. But yeah, leave some comments in the section below. I'd love to help you out if you're interested in being a part of our trading group. Please click that link in the description below. And I look forward to talking to you guys in the next video. Probably talking about what to do if you do experience a loss. That's going to be one of the upcoming videos. So can't wait to post that, and I will catch you in the next video. Catch you later. Bye.